Okay, thank you very much. I'm speaking and nobody's hearing me. So again, good evening. And now just give me a sign, give me a thumbs up or say yes or anything in the chat if you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. I was on mute. You know what? It is probably not I'm not the best technical person. And very, very sorry for all of you who have tried to log in, to register the last 2 days. Again, technical, I had a big glitch there, so I'm very, very sorry for those of you who had problems registering, but I do hope that everybody did get the emails. I sent them actually out manually, so I hope everybody's here. I can see a few names who were trying to register and who are here now. So I'm just talking just a little bit, just to wait a few more minutes for some people who are still trying to join. And yes, because I am still getting messages. We are, by the way, also live on YouTube. So also I would like to say hello to everybody who's watching us on YouTube now tonight. And please, 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 any questions that you have, please ask me. You can unmute yourself and speak. You can type your questions into the chat box, or you can type them, if you are on YouTube, you can type them on YouTube, because I am also seeing the YouTube live here on my other computer. So let's just start by saying, who are you? And give me a little bit in the chat. Where are you from? How many children do you have? And also, maybe, can you say to me, what are the challenges that you're facing now? Just unmute yourself if you want to talk. It's faster, whatever you want. What are challenges that you're facing? How many children do you have? Just to get going a little bit until we really start, because I'm still waiting a little bit. So in the chat, just say, where are you from? So we know, I know we have people from pretty much, we have people from the UAE, we have people from, I think I see Finland even here. We have people from Lebanon. I don't know the others. So just Dubai. Okay, Dubai. We have from Dubai, Sweta, good evening, welcome here. Okay.
Hi, Mona, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm just saying a quick hello. I am in Finland. I'm actually walking outside, minus 17. So I'm not going to be doing much chatting in the chat box.
Okay.
It's very cold here, but I'm happy to be part and to participate from here. So I'm more than happy to hear you. Yes, nice.
Minus 17 degrees. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, it is cold.
Okay. I can't remember the last time I had that. Very, very, very long time ago. Thank you, Jana.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Annie from Dubai, but grew up in Los Angeles, and Mark, Dubai, but Spanish. Great, very international crowd here. One child. We have Doha here, Sana from Doha, from Beirut. Okay, great, a great crowd here, great people from everywhere. Okay, I think I'm going to start, and for those who are a little bit late, they will catch up. Let me just get my chat box here so I can see everyone here. Perfect. Before we start, I know that the title Hypno-Parenting is a little bit scary to many of you, and it has a reason why it is. It should be not scary. I don't want it to be scary, but maybe to let people think a little bit about what is going on, and like I said in that video, if you saw my video, how are you hypnotizing your children? Annie, you're saying we want to be able to handle frustration when teaching our daughter. Who doesn't want to do that? Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me just share a few slides with you and talk a little bit about what I want to tell you, and then we'll go back. But please, at any time, I will answer questions. So let me just share that and go back here. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mona Abdelrahim Santel, and I am the founder and owner of Mind Your Power. Don't want to speak so much about myself, but I do want to tell you why and how this program came about. Because this is really important to know. So for those of you who do know me, I work with hypnosis. My background is psychology, but I am mainly working with hypnotherapy, one of the fastest methods for me, at least, to reach results, to get to results, etc. And I've been working with hypnosis since many years, and also since 2009, also teaching hypnotherapy. Now, what I noticed while teaching is that a lot of people actually want to benefit from the course, want to take that course, but don't want to be certified, don't want to go out and become certified hypnotherapists, but want to use it for their own good, want to use it for their families. So I started thinking, why not do something that everybody can learn? The other reason, and the main reason why it is actually called hypno-parenting, is because you are hypnotizing your children. Everything that happens between the age of 0 or even before in the womb until about 5-6 years, everything that you say or do or teach children is straight going on straight into their subconscious mind, because children don't have that conscious mind to say, is this good or is this not good? Shall I believe what I just heard or not? Yeah. So everything that a child is exposed to from the age of 0 or even before, like I said, in the womb already, until 5, 6, 7 years old, it is hypnosis, pure hypnosis. This program, I've been teaching it since about 5 years now, and at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, in case some people want to also register for the course. But I'm going to give you as many details as I can in this 1 hour, 1.5 hours tonight. So what is it that, what are my, if I want to talk about myself, one of my biggest, I would say, achievements in my life is not whatever businesses I set up, whatever syndicates I founded, but this. These are my 3 boys. Or I must say, these were my 3 boys a long time ago. This is how they look today. And as I said, one of my most proudest achievements, because when you have children who grow up and you think, okay, they are emotionally intelligent, they can do things in life, they made their way. This is really something that I think every parent wants to say. Now, having said that, have I made mistakes? Whew, yes. Do they have flaws? Yes. Do I have flaws? Yes. Okay. So nothing is perfect. Nothing is, we cannot say we do something 100%. Why? Because we are also affected by our own habits. We're affected by so many things that are in our subconscious mind. And this is how we transfer our knowledge and our habits and behaviors to our children. And that's a little bit what I want to talk about today here, because especially now in this time here, we are affecting our children because a lot of people are really stressed with the situation that is going on here. So I I don't know now the different countries you're in, but I know that some countries are still, or were up to, I think last week, I'm not sure, for the people in Beirut here or in Lebanon, are you still on a lockdown? Yes, you are. Okay, okay. So some people are still on a lockdown. We are not in the UAE. However, a lot of schools have closed. A lot of people, a lot of children are studying from home. So there is a lot of stress going on here. Oops, where is that? Not in Dubai, yes, Annie, thank you, yes. So but there is a lot going on at home though. And if we think about, just about 1 year ago, right? Everything was different. Everything changed in that 1 year. And in that 1 year, and when I think back to 2020, it is crazy how many people I have seen, how many clients came to me for example, relationship coaching. Why? Because now everybody's sitting together at home. Now, previously people were going out in the morning, husband goes to work, wife goes to work, or stays at home, children go to school, and then they all come back in the evening, have some dinner together, and that's basically it. A lot of people were avoiding discussions, challenges, arguments, maybe, etc., by just walking their own way. And now that everybody was at home for a long, long time, a lot of things surfaced that were hidden or where we were in denial a little bit. But the situation that you see here, I am seeing a lot now, a lot of parents who are saying, oh my God, how can I handle everything? How can I handle my work? How can I handle the household and the children and the homeschooling and everything together? Well, things have changed. Now, I must say that for a lot of children, and it depends what ages they are, nothing has really changed a lot because they are not used to, don't have 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, of another experience. So for them, it is a very much shorter span what they had. Let's say a child who was at home anyway, who was not yet in nursery. That did not change a lot for them. However, what has changed is our behavior with them. Of course, for a little bit older children, if they're 7, 8, they have been going to school, yes, also a lot has changed for them. So some children are really upset because they cannot see their friends so much anymore, etc. So for each one, it is a different scenario and a different reason why they are actually stressed. But now, if I ask you, so I had one comment here saying, handle frustration when teaching our daughter. So let me just tell you that you are not a teacher. You're not a teacher. You cannot do everything. And especially for children, their teachers are their teachers at school. You have a different role. And you know what? You're doing a fantastic job doing your role as a mother, as a father. You are doing a fantastic job. Every single parent is doing the best they can to get their children to the best they think they can get. Now, the thing is that sometimes we have our own beliefs of what is the best for our children. Yeah. A lot of times we have beliefs of success. We have beliefs of what makes a child successful. Is it a child who has good grades in school? Are the school grades what really makes that child or not? Yeah, we label children a lot of times. We say you're good or bad, etc. When it comes to does that child study or not? Is he lazy or not? So think about how do you label your child? How stressed do you get when your child does not do his homework, for example, or if you have to teach him? The thing is that they sometimes know better than we do how to go about their homework, because they have their teachers in the back of their minds, and you do it your way. I'm going to talk about two things mainly today. I cannot touch everything, but I'm going to talk about two things. One is really the safety and hygiene, and how this will affect the children later on. Masks and washing hands, etc. And the second thing, and the most important thing for me, is I'm going to talk about communication. How do we actually communicate with our children, and how can we communicate in a more effective way to have them grow up without that stress? I mean, teaching her about life. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood there. Thank you for clarifying. So teaching her about life, on how to behave, but I don't have much patience in general. I just want her to be just the way I like or believe. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for also sharing here, because a lot of times it is exactly that, yeah? We have a certain behavior that we learned. And if we go and look at where did this actually come from, let me just go down here one slide. A lot of our beliefs, etc., come from deep inside of us, and they are actually stored in our subconscious mind. So habits, beliefs, values, etc., are all stored in our subconscious mind. And where does that come from? That comes again from our parents and their parents and their parents, etc. So there are a lot of things that we do without knowing that we do them. Yeah. So when you say, I just want her to be the way I like or believe, well, a lot of times we believe that certain manners, like you say, how to behave, certain manners, certain behaviors are the right behaviors to do. But here's just a small example. I remember when I was quite young, going to my grandmother's house, and or when we went to see people, for example, friends of the family, maybe a little bit older friends, how people, and I grew up in Lebanon, so maybe also cultural things will of course affect it. But I remember the manners or good behavior was to go and sit next to and give your grandmother a hug and sit next to her, etc. Well, what are we teaching our children today? The exact opposite. Stay away from your grandmother. Don't go too close. Don't even give her your hand, right? Let alone hug or kiss old people. So nowadays we have different values, or I don't know if these are values really, but behaviors that are tied to values. Let's put it this way. Yeah, behaviors and habits that are tied to something maybe called respect, or how do you treat your family members, etc. This is a value, right? To respect older people. So tied to whatever we have now, children are growing up learning that we don't go and see them, we don't go and visit them. Children are growing up learning, for example, that we speak on the phone more than we go and visit people. There are a lot of things that for us are maybe in our mind just temporary. But the thing is, they're not temporary. We cannot go back. And I have heard people saying to their children, just for now, until we go back to normal. Well, we're never going back to normal. Nothing goes back in life. We're always moving forward. We're always changing. So we cannot say we're going backwards, we're going back to normal. We're going to a new normal maybe, or to a new, actually the word normal is also maybe wrong, because it will never be normal, because everything is changing in life. Yeah, and that's the normal cycle of life. We keep changing. So even these things like values and beliefs and habits that are deeply ingrained in us will change with us. And they have to change, and we have to change with them. We cannot stick to old things. We cannot stick to old habits and say, let's do it how we always did it. It doesn't work like this. So, oops, let me just do this here. I think, was there a comment here now? Nope. Okay, so again, let's talk a little bit about these beliefs and habits and values, etc. So when you look at this iceberg model here, and I'm sure all of you who have seen, I believe we have a couple of hypnotherapists here on the call tonight, and all of those, all of you who have read about or know about the subconscious, I'm sure you have seen that iceberg model before. So everything that we see in the tip of the iceberg here is actually what we see, right? So how the way we behave and what we actually see, what's above the surface, what we're aware of, that's the tip of the iceberg, and everything underneath that tip of the iceberg are really things that we are not really aware of. Now, can we change them? Yes, we can. We can change anything we want. We can change beliefs. We can change values and habits and everything. However, it is easier to change just a small action that I'm doing now consciously than changing things that are deeply rooted. To be able to change things that are deeply rooted, I need to first be aware of them. I really need to become aware of myself. And that's one big chunk. I was talking about that program earlier, Hypno-Parenting. If you decide to actually enroll and take it, we will go into really you as a person. What are your real beliefs? And think about it now. And you can do that on your own too. You don't need to enroll in that program, but think about it. What are your deep beliefs? What are your beliefs about parenting? What are your beliefs about success? What are your beliefs about failure? What are your beliefs about children? Good-mannered, behaved children and bad manners, etc. What are your beliefs about yourself? What do you think you are your strength as a mother or father? What are your weaknesses as a mother or father? Yeah. And then also it is really important to understand, where do these beliefs come from, especially when it comes to success. How do I see my child? A lot of times it is also related. We were talking about school earlier when we spoke about teaching. It is related to, what did I learn growing up? What were the things that made me successful or not? Do I have to study law or medicine to be someone respected and be someone? Again, this goes back to that labeling that I spoke to earlier. Or can I, or do I say, success in life is to have a good family? In many cultures, success in life, if it comes to, for example, getting married and having children, is having a son, for example, yeah, or getting married, or not being, 30 or 35 and still unmarried. These are values that stem from somewhere. And if we give them and pass them on to our children, they will just take them without thinking why they have them, and then just maybe give them on. So again, can we change our beliefs? Yes, we can, but we need to really become aware of them first. So like I said, two things that I want to speak about. One is really, what are we seeing today in this time of COVID, especially when it comes to safety and hygiene. And the other thing that I want to speak about is communication, and that's the major part. We're going to do some exercises around that too. Faye, very interesting. Is this going to be recorded? You have another meeting. It is recorded, yes. I will send the recording. If you are, I don't know your real name, Faye K. If you are receiving my newsletter, then you will get the recording. If not, just go on YouTube. Just go on my Mind Your Power, my YouTube channel, and it is live on there right now. Search by my name, Mona Abdurrahim Santal, Mind Your Power, and you'll find my channel. And if you don't find it, just send me an email. Send me an email to Mona, M-O-N-A, at mindyourpower.org, M-O-N-A at mindyourpower.org, Faye, and I will make sure to send you that link. Okay, great. So for everybody else, so these two areas are areas that are changing a lot and will change in the future. And again, let's think about, for example, if we speak about the safety and hygiene. Safety. If we go back a few slides here, and I want to show you that picture again, that word stress that a lot of people are going through. Again, it is important to be aware of whose stress is it? Who is stressing whom here? We hear a lot of times, oh my God, my children are driving me crazy. Who of you has ever said that? Have you ever thought, my children are driving me crazy? If you have, just put your hand up or give me a thumbs up or anything like that. The thing is, you are driving yourself crazy yourself. It is not our children. It is most of the time really our behavior that will reflect on the child. We are, as a society, as a global society nowadays, we are stressed. We have a lot of things going on. There is a lot going on in the world. A lot of people who have worries, who have anxieties, a lot of people who don't know how to handle that situation, like I said at the beginning, or even people who have lost their jobs. So we have financial stresses. We have people who have, so they don't have work. We have people who have exactly the opposite. They have too much work because they're working from home. So now they have their work and they have, you know, like you were saying, Annie, also the work from home and the teaching the children, the homeschooling, but also the responsibility of the children themselves. So many people have more work and have stress there. We have the stress of just opening the news or Facebook or WhatsApp and seeing what's happened again and how many people died and how many people were infected and what's going on in the world and where is a lockdown. All of that is stress. And let's talk about stress just for a moment. How does stress affect your body? What happens when you are stressed? How does it affect the way your body reacts and also your mental state of mind? So when we are stressed, our body goes into something that we call the fight or flight response. And I'm sure you've heard about that over and over again. But what happens to our body is that when we go into that fight or flight mode, we, first of all, are making our system weaker, because our survival instinct, that fight or flight response, is a very, very useful response when it comes to real emergencies, when it comes to surviving, when it comes to, you know, running away from a car or something like that. I need that adrenaline. I need that fight or flight to react quickly. And that's what many, many people do. They are reacting because they go into that fight or flight. But when I am reacting to something, I cannot think anymore clearly. What do I really want to do? What do I really want to say? And think about it. When you are stressed, when you are reacting to something that your children are doing or saying, are you actually thinking clearly? No, you're not. You're not thinking. Why? If we want to look at it physiologically, when we go into that fight or flight mode, most of our blood and oxygenated blood is going to our extremities that we need to fight or to flee. So it's going to our legs or to our arms. And this makes sense because we need them to fight or to flee. Now, what happens to the rest of our body? It is a little bit deprived from oxygenated blood. So the rest of our body will have some tension. The muscles will be a little bit more tense, and we will have, for example, digestion problem or other problems, and also our immune system is affected. So the more you are in a stressful situation, or also your children, the less the immune system is working strongly and properly. Now, on the other side, what happens also is that the blood, the oxygenated blood, doesn't come to your frontal lobe in your brain. Why? Because in that moment, you are not supposed to think. If we think way back, where does this fight or flight response come from? When we were still living in the caves and a lion came to attack you, in that moment, you just reacted like I said before. You are not capable, or you should not be able to, in that moment, think and say, well, what kind of lion is that? How shall I flee, etc. So your body has that phenomenal reaction that it automatically shuts that thinking mode of yours off. So when you are stressed, you're not thinking properly and clearly of what you're actually doing, and you're just reacting. So thinking about that stress again, how is it affecting now safety? How is it affecting us in our dealing with each other, with the family? So what are you showing your children? What are you saying to your children? How much are you showing them fear, maybe? Because it's not only that stress, but that fear that is there. Now, when it comes to children, we know that children don't learn from what you say to them. Children learn from what they see. So the way you behave will affect the child. You don't need to say something. A child, until the age of, let's say, about 6 months, let's say, or something, doesn't talk anyway and doesn't understand, right? Still, they understand you. Why? Because you have that connection. A child understands every single facial expression that changes in your face. A child sees your body language and understands you. A child sees what you do and gets you. Words come later. Even later, when they understand, a younger child will always see if his mother is worried or scared or anything. And children cannot deal with that. A child cannot deal with a worried mother. They don't know what to do. But what they do see is, in your face, there is fear or worry. So I know something is wrong. I know something is wrong with mommy, but I don't know what. And I don't know how to deal with it. And I don't know how to help her. So in that child, there will be a little bit of an imbalance. There will be a little bit of an anxiety that comes from you to that child. It is a learned behavior of really being a little bit scared and saying, something is wrong, but I don't know what. So again, here, look at yourself first. Become aware first of what are you showing the child. The easiest way to do this is actually in the morning when you get up. You go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, look in the mirror, and look at yourself. And maybe smile at yourself and say good morning to yourself, and put yourself into that mode of positivity, let's say, and then go and face your children. If we are honest, a lot of times we, during the day, and especially when we're at home doing things, if you had a candid camera somewhere, how would you look? how would your face look a lot of times? I'm curious. Anyone who wants to share? Let me now just see here. We have a couple of, I don't know. Okay, so the energy is low. I'm actually more stressed about going back to normal. Okay, Rita, like you said, the pandemic gave us a chance to be around our children more. It's stressful to think that we have less time with them once this is over. Okay, I love your comment here, Rita. You're stressed about going back maybe sometime, someday to the old normal. Well, we don't know what's going to come. And when we think about how a lot of people work, a lot of people or think, they think they live either in the past or in the future. So a lot of people will think, oh my God, in the past it was so much better and now it's not. Or a lot of people might think, what will happen in the past? And that's what we call anxieties. Yeah, anxieties, my definition is a memory of the future that hasn't happened. So this is, and why I say a memory and not a thought is because as soon as I think about it, it becomes a memory because it becomes an image in my mind. And our subconscious mind works with images. So when you say, I'm stressed about what might happen when we go back to normal. Yeah, that is something that you actually don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. But a lot of times we worry about that. And that worry or that anxiety is something that is not real. It's not there. So it is a skill to really be able to live in the moment and to live the now. And not to say, you know what, it was much nicer when we went out, and not to say, well, I don't know what will happen. And this is also something that we should teach our children, to actually live what we have right now, because we can see it negatively and we can also see it positively. So how are we looking at that situation? Do we say, no, we can't do anything and it's dangerous? Do we see it as danger? Then we are instilling fear into our children? Do we say, oh my God, how is it going to be in the future? Then again, we are having that anxiety that we're instilling into our children. Or do we say, let's do the best out of what we can right now? There are a lot of methods that you can do, a lot of things that you can do to be mindful of the moment. And I'm going to actually speak about kids and what to do with them in just a moment. I'm just answering a couple of questions. Sweta, you're saying, what's your question? What was my question? Good question, Sweta. I don't know what question you're referring to. Again, another question that I can ask you is, how do you look at yourselves? And that was probably my question. Do you, if you had a candid camera somewhere, how do you look when you work at home, when your children are around you, especially those who have small children around you all day long? Look at your face, look at your behavior, your body language, etc. How are you? How are your children seeing you? Are they seeing you as someone who is happy, who is smiling, someone who's positive, or are they seeing you as someone who is worried and scared? Again, start with yourself. Be happy, be that person. Go and stand in front of the mirror as many times as you can to remind yourself, or put mirrors everywhere to remind yourself to smile, to remind yourself that children are actually a mirror of you. They're seeing you, they're seeing your face all the time. Yeah. So remind yourself. I don't know if you know that story of the Chinese story of a dog who goes into that big castle of 1,000 mirrors. And there are two dogs, and that angry dog goes into that castle of 1,000 mirrors, and he's barking, and he goes into that big room, and looks around. And of course, with these 1,000 mirrors, he looks around and barks, and 1,000 dogs bark back at him. He goes out and says to his friend, the friendly dog, he says, that's a really unfriendly house over there. Don't go in there. And the friendly dog thinks, let me go in and see. And the friendly dog, who wags his tail, goes into that house with 1,000 mirrors. And what happens? 1,000 friendly dogs wag their tail at him. So it is, what do you show, you will get back. And I love to use that story, that analogy with children, because children are a mirror of you. Children are a reflection of you. Children are not born lazy or annoying or loud or shy or shouting or breaking things or whatever you want to say. No. But they learn. Everything is a learned behavior. And where do they learn from? I don't want to say everything is you, everything are the parents, but everyone who is around that kid a lot. And you as parents are affecting your children a lot. Not knowingly and not out of bad will, but we all are. And that's that hypnosis that we're doing to our children. Again, like I said at the beginning, a child until the age of 6 or 7 does not have a conscious mind. That means, so let me explain a little bit. The conscious mind is like a guardian, a guard who sits there and says, what I'm just seeing is not right, or what I'm just hearing is not right, so I don't want to accept that. If we don't have that guard, at the conscious mind, because there is no conscious mind, then everything we're hearing, we're just accepting, because there is no one to judge that and to say this is right, this is wrong. So if I give you an example, if you say now to me, someone says to me now, you're the, I don't know, worst therapist I've ever seen. Well, I would say, something in me would say, oof, I actually have, really amazing results and a lot of people who love working with me. So you know what? I don't know why she's saying that, but I'm not accepting that suggestion. So I'm not believing it. So it doesn't really get to me. Yeah. But if I was a child of 4, 3, 2, 5 years old, 1 year even, and I keep hearing, oh, you cannot do this. No, you're too small. Oh, why are you? What? Look at your sister. She's better. She's doing it so much better than you, and she's younger. Why can't you be like her? Why can't you be this way or that way? When we keep hearing these things as a child, and there is no guard saying, stop, I don't want to believe that. These things are coming in and they become your beliefs. And then these children grow up as children thinking and believing that they're not good enough, they're not worthy, others are better than them, they cannot do it, they are not capable of doing it, etc. Yeah? But going back to what I said, every child is born with abilities to do pretty much everything another child can do. But we hypnotize them into believing this is good, this is bad, etc. So we are affecting them by how we're speaking to them, but also how we are behaving in front of them. So again, to that exercise that you can do on your own, become aware of yourself. Become aware of your words also towards your child. How do you speak to that child? It is also important not to be overly positive to that child, meaning, oh, you're the best, you're always, or speak to other people about that child being the best in school and the best in piano lessons and the best in whatever, because that will become an expectation of him. And that will become his expectation and his beliefs of being successful or being loved. So again, be aware of how are you labeling your child? How are you speaking to your child? Be also aware of how are you speaking in front of your child to others about the situation, for example, that is going on? Are you calling your mother in another country and talking to her? Oh my God, you know what happened, and the numbers went up again, and these people are dying, etc., etc., etc. Are you speaking this way? Your child is next to you. Even if they are very, very small, even if they don't really understand what you're saying linguistically, they will sense that fear or that negativity. So be careful. What are you saying to others in front of your child? What are you saying to others about your child in front of them? Because also that will label them. Even what are you saying to others not in front of them? Yeah. One example that I always give in the course is if you go and into a classroom and you say to the teacher, well, my daughter, this is my daughter, a new teacher, you say, this is my daughter, and she's really very shy, and you know, don't be very harsh on her because she's very sensitive. What happens? I already labeled that child, and that teacher will see her with these eyes of, she is sensitive. So whatever she says, that person will treat her like that. Also, when it comes to family, how many times do we say to family members, my daughter is this way, or my son is that way? Does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm just going to read here your comments. You're absent-minded on my phone, working all the time and annoyed because I'm trying to work and they're interrupting. I love what you just said here, Rita, and I am going to tell you a very small trick also about, you know, that interruption. And when you're trying to work and you are annoyed, I hope you are still with us because you sent me yes, you are still with us. So when we usually want to work and they interrupt, well, children are so smart. I don't know who already recognized that. I think all of you probably did. Children are so smart. They know exactly that when mommy's on the phone, when she's speaking to someone, and I really want something from her, I'll get it. Or when I am in the supermarket and everybody's looking at mom, and I want a toy, and I start throwing a little tantrum, I will get that toy because mommy doesn't want everybody to look at her. Now, these are not conscious thoughts that they have, but these are learned behaviors. So they learn very quickly that in certain situations, they can come and want something from you or interrupt you, and you'll be more lenient because you are preoccupied with something else. And this also happens when we are, for example, in the midst of our work. So we're working, we're focused on something, we don't want our kids around, and they come and interrupt. We are usually a little bit more lenient towards them and allow things more. So they will come and interrupt more. Now, when it comes to interruptions or why is it that children do that? They want attention. They want your attention in that moment. So when you give them attention, you're teaching them that behavior or that habit that, yes, you can get attention when you come. So teach them not to give them attention in these moments, but then please go and give them attention in other moments. So have that conversation with them and saying, okay, so now we're working. While I'm working, I cannot have anything around me. Don't give in when they come and want something. Don't give in. And I know this is very hard at the beginning. It is like when you are in a supermarket, don't buy that toy. Yeah. Or when they start raising their voice, when they start shouting, maybe ignore them as much as you can for a moment. I learned that, I love to share that story. My middle son, when he was about 2 years old, the older one was 3, the younger one was 1, so they're quite close to each other. And when he was 2, I caught him in the bedroom, and he had scissors and he was cutting the curtains. And I said, "Oh my God, Luca, what are you doing?" And he was 2.5, something like that. And he stood there and he looked at me and he said, "Mommy, I wanted you to come." And I will never forget that story because it taught me so much. It taught me that that child was so honest. Children are honest. He would do anything to get my attention, to get me to come. Why? Because I had 2 other babies, right? But he wanted to do something where he was sure that I would come and he would get my attention. And that's how children function. And that's how children behave. They will do anything, even negative, to get your attention. So to turn that around, to flip that, start giving them more attention when they're not doing anything wrong. Start sitting with them and enjoying your time with them and seeing them as who they are. Spending that time. We have so much time now at home with each other. Time where they cannot go out. So instead of focusing on why can't I go out and why can't I do that and why is it so bad, focus on the positives. Focus on what can you do now to enjoy that time together. What can you do to make the best out of that situation? And when I say really make that a good time, give them time, give them attention in a sense of see them, recognize them, hear them, listen to what they want to say, listen to their fears maybe, or to their thoughts, or even if they have crazy ideas, small ones. Don't judge them. And when they come up with an idea, when they come up with something, don't judge or say, no, this is right, this is wrong, etc. Just listen to them and be with them. And that's a big, big part of communication that we're going to talk about in a moment. Yeah, but let's stay to fear here. Let's stick to fear and safety. Again, look at yourself. What are you actually telling them? Are you telling them this is a situation that we have to be really scared in? Remember what I just told you, that fight or flight response is not only in you, it is also in them. So by making them even more afraid of these situations, you're actually weakening their immune system and making them unsure of how to react, because they will just react and copy you. Instead of installing fear into them, start by explaining more and let them come up with solution. Let them have creative ideas of how to come up. You know what? Maybe your children have better ideas than you do, because you might be stuck in your old habits, in your old ways of working. Whereas children often have so innovative ideas. They are very innovative. So start by doing that. Start by talking to them about it and not saying, no, don't do that. Don't go there. Don't show them fear, so that they can start clearly thinking. When it comes to the second picture here, I'm coming to your questions in a moment. When it comes to that second picture here, it's also, I can see that in about 5 to 10 years from now, we will have a whole generation, let's say the children who are now about 2 years old, when they reach the age of 8 or something, in a couple of years, we might have a generation of OCDs, obsessive compulsory disorder. I don't like labeling that as such, but really children who grow up not, you know, be careful, don't touch, wash your hands, don't touch this, don't touch that, really afraid of touching things. So again here, be sensible in what you teach them. Teach them, yes, of course, hygiene is important. Teach them to wash their hands, like we always should wash our hands, you know, when touching things. But do everything without that fear in it. I hope that makes sense to everybody. And please, if you do have any questions, I'm just answering the questions here now. Today morning, I was telling the same to my mom. Don't label the child for her grandson. I was guiding her. Yes, exactly. Thank you for that. iPhone, all what you're saying makes total sense. And thank you for reminding us. My question is how to be mindful while responding to our children amidst the whole stressful life. How can we be more positive, if I may say, while reacting? What we are enduring, I believe, is boiled presto that is about to explode. Yes, thank you very much for that question. How can you be more positive? Boiled presto that is about to explode. And the more, you know, we put into that pressure cooker, right? The more we put in, the more at one point it will explode. So be careful that your children are not starting to put in. Yeah, you're talking about you, I hope, and not your children. Not I hope. I hope you're not even talking about yourself. But what it is that the more we put in and we don't allow the children to actually let go and speak about it and express themselves, the more they will need a therapist when they grow up. So because everything is inside, and this is what I see a lot when I work with clients, that, you know, we go back, we have a problem as a 30-year-old, 35, 40-year-old, whatever it is, we have a problem. And we as therapists go back and see what's the reason for that problem. And we so many times go back to that childhood and see that, yes, it was layered, one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And like you say, until it explodes, yeah? So how to be more positive, how to be mindful of that time. Again, you know, the time that you spend with your children is a time where you should just be with them. The feeling that they should have when you sit with them is that feeling of trust and security and safety. The home, parents are that safe haven for a child. So when you are stressed, again, the child only sees that there is no safety to go to. Yeah. So how to be mindful, how to sit with them, look at things from a positive way. I'm going to tell you in a moment how to train your mind to see positive things. Before I say that, I just want to say, start with yourself. Start with yourself first. Look at yourself and start with your stress. Don't start wanting to fix the children or fix anything around you. Fix yourself. And when you fix yourself, everything around you will fix itself alone, basically, if I want to say it this way. You know how when we fly in a plane, and the captain says, when oxygen masks fall down, take yours first and then attend to your children. Well, this is exactly what we should do here also. Take care of yourself first. Give yourself everything that you need to be relaxed, to be happy. Think about if you are in an environment, if you go to a friend's house that has where the friends are, for example, stressed or nervous or negative. Do you like to be there? How do you feel around them? It doesn't feel right, does it? What about friends where you go and everything, it's a positive environment and everybody's laughing and you like to be around them, don't you? The same applies to children. Children will want to be around you when you are positive, when you're happy. They will feel happy and safe, yeah? So Look at the things positively. Start with yourself. Do something for yourself. Start by scheduling some time for something that you like to do. Find a way to just do something for yourself. You don't have to be with your child 24 hours a day. You don't need to babysit them when they're drawing or doing something. Let them do something. Let them explore also their independence. And I'm going to come to that too. I know where, oops, the time is running. But the thing is, take that time for yourself. The more you use things for yourself, the happier you are, and that's what your children will see in you. I hope that answered a little bit. Oh, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to be positive in a moment. Just let me answer the other questions. Hello, I would say reflect before. Oh, that was an answer to N. Okay, reflect before reacting. Try to make it mindful and take a firm decision in being fully aware and present. Wherever you feel in a stressful situation, you know those 2 seconds before the presto explodes. Yes, exactly. Agree completely. Sanitizers, masks, don't touch. Yes, and that's that. Ooh, don't touch it, etc. Okay, so let me quickly go to that, how to be a little bit more positive. And I'm going to just jump down here a little bit. Let me just do one thing here and jump down. So how to be positive. How do you communicate with your child or with yourself? Communication is a big, big, big thing also to yourself. How do you communicate with yourself? What are the things that you say to yourself? And let me just stop sharing that for a moment here. I'm going to talk to you like that. When you speak to yourself, are you more focused on the positives or on the negatives? What is it that you see more in your life? Think about if you have a child who is in the age of school age, when they come home with grades, with their report cards, do you see the A's or do you see the F's? What is it that you focus on more? How were you taught when you grew up? So this is how our mind learns. We are taught, and I believe that it is not nature to be positive or negative. I believe that we are all born with a certain positivity in life, and then we are taught by society, by news, because if you look around you, news, for example, we don't hear positive things on the news. We only hear the negatives, right? We don't hear about the things that people do and succeed in. We hear what happened. Similarly, the teachers in school, for example, they will focus on the mistakes that you make. They don't focus on the good things that you do. This is a society thing. And in many cultures, things are changing, but in many, they are still like that. Many school systems are starting to change a little bit. But so a child grows up, and we grow up focusing on the negatives and seeing them. So again, ask yourself here, what are you focused on more? Do you usually see the problem or do you see the solution? Do you see the positives or the negatives? Yeah. So start by training your mind. So we have a filter in our brain, something called the RAS, the reticular activating system. It's a little bit of a filter in our brain that says, what do I focus on now? We cannot focus consciously on everything happening around us at the same time. However, our subconscious mind is receiving lots of information in one moment. But consciously, we only filter out what is important to us. So I want to ask you, have you ever thought of buying a car and then you see that car everywhere in the streets? And even that color that you're talking about? This happened to me with my oldest son a couple of years ago, 5, 6, 8 years ago. He was in the UK and I was in Lebanon. And he called me and he said to me, Mom, I want to buy a Qashqai. And I said to him, what? What's that? And he said, Qashqai, it's a Nissan car. And I said, you know what? I think they don't exist in Lebanon. And that day, I hung up the phone and I got out of that building. And what did I see exactly in front of that building? A Qashqai. And the next day, another Qashqai here and there and everywhere. Yeah. So what has happened, what had happened, they were there before, but I didn't see them because for my mind, they didn't exist. So, but as soon as you tell your mind, oh, they exist, you'll start seeing them. Same with, you know, someone talks about a new restaurant, then suddenly everybody's talking about them, about that restaurant, sorry. Yeah. They had been talking about that before, or the ads were there, but you didn't see them, you didn't perceive them. So how can you, going back to your question, how can you train that positivity and be mindful of the positive? Train yourself to see positive things. So look at your children, for example, and ask yourself, what can I see that is positive in them? Instead of seeing, oh, now he did this, now he did that, right? What did he do that was really nice? Look at yourself at the end of the day and reflect back on that day and say, what was it what happened today that was really positive and nice? What did I say to people? What did people say to me? What did I experience? What did I see? Yeah. And either write it down, or if you want to be very, very, you want it to be very powerful, that's what I usually tell my clients, stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself. So use your visual sense, speak aloud to yourself. So use your auditory sense too, and feel what you're saying. Don't say, oh, I didn't do it, huh? No, really feel. Say, you know what, today I had an awesome seminar, webinar, great people, feel it, yeah? Someone said to me today, my hair looks good. I helped a lady on the phone. She was lost. She had a wrong number. I helped her. Little things. When you start doing that, your mind will have that antenna, right, that is looking for positives. And then you'll start seeing positives more and more. So do that for yourself, for your life, and do that also for people, with your children. And within the family, you can do it as a game, for example, at night. Say, okay, who can come up with, let's say we have 1 minute, who can come up with the most, the highest number of positive things that happened today? Do it as a game. No negatives allowed, because we know the negatives anyway. But let's focus on the positives. I hope that makes sense. I think it was Rita who asked that question. So do that. Do that to train your RAS to see and find the positives that are happening around you. No, it was Coach N who had asked that question. Okay, so what else do we have here? I actually let my 5-year-old do his homework alone. Okay, and that's another point that I want to speak about. Children, so parents are stressed a little bit about, you know, what's happening in the world, etc. Fear of health issues, fear of money issues, jobs, etc. Children have different kind of stresses, and you cannot understand your child unless you use a lot of empathy. Empathy really means putting yourself in their shoes, looking at it from their eyes, looking at it from as if you are that child. How does he perceive things? It is very, very hard for us to say, I know what my child feels, because I don't. Because things have happened so fast. Evolution has happened so fast. Change is happening every single day, and is going faster and faster as we go, that I have no idea how it is to be a child today. And I have no idea how it is to be my child, because every child is different. So listen to your children, understand them as much as you can. Now, they have other stresses like, I cannot see my friends. That stresses them. So you cannot respond by saying, you know what, other people are dying and you are now crying because of your friend that you cannot see, or you are now crying or throwing a tantrum because your little toy broke. This is nothing. Well, for them, it is a big thing because they don't see the world that we are in. They don't know what it is to lose a job. They don't know what it is to have a pandemic. So put yourself in their mind and see things from their perspective. And then let them talk about it. Ask them, understand them. And a stress that they have often is, I'm bored. What shall I do? Because they're used to, you know why? Actually, because we are sometimes over scheduling their agendas. Yeah. Children nowadays have an agenda like a politician or like a CEO sometimes, school and then football and then this and that and activities all afternoon. So when they are then at home, suddenly they don't know what to do anymore with their time. Now, don't think for them. So I love what you just said here, Rita. You let your 5-year-old do his homework alone. Yes, let them do their homework alone. Let them find creative ways of solving problems. Let them find ways of what shall I do if I'm bored? Yeah. Don't say, okay, go and play this, especially with small children. We often give them things to do over and over again. So don't do it. Refrain from always giving them things. Let them come up with ideas. Let them be creative, because that will also develop their sense of problem solving for later on, their creativity for when they really need it, also in school, in work life, etc. How can you change the attitude of people around you, spouses, colleagues, or family members sharing the house? I love that question. Thank you so much. You cannot. You cannot. What you can do is change your own attitude. And like I said before, it will reflect on others and it's contagious. So, a smile is contagious, a laughter is contagious. Your attitude is contagious, but also the negative ones are, right? So if I'm stressed and walking around and shouting, I will have children who will start shouting. Yeah, I will have children, and I'm going to just show you here that these you're not seeing that. So whatever I do, sorry. Whatever I do, my children will react, will see it, and or even the family members, they will see it, and it will affect them. It even impacts the kids. Yes, it does. It does, Rita, right? So whatever you are, like I said before, children will be happier when you are happier. Children will be more relaxed when you are more relaxed. And again, start with that self-awareness. Look at yourself. How are you behaving? And then look at your child, and you'll see you'll see a mirror in your child, actually, right? So start by being what you want. And my big word is always be selfish. Be selfish. Start with yourself. By being selfish, you're actually not selfish. Okay, let me explain that. A lot of parents say, I do everything for my children. I put myself in the back, I'm the last on the list. I do everything for my family first. But when you do that, you don't have the strength anymore to actually give them what you want to give them. But when you start with yourself, when you are selfish, when you do the things that make you happy, when you do the things that make you grow and explore life and be relaxed, etc., that will affect everybody around you So in this sense, you're not selfish anymore because you're doing it not only for you, but for everybody around you. Yeah. But when you say, I'm doing everything for my children, I don't have time for my hair anymore, I don't have time to read or to listen to anything that interests me, I don't have time to learn, I don't have time to work, etc. It will in turn affect the others. So basically, you're not doing anything good there. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I hope it did. Let me just go back here and share that one again here. So as I said, children see and do what you do and what you say, or how you behave. Yeah. So the way you behave, this is what they will see. Now, when it comes to how to plan at home, etc., involve everybody. That's a really important part also here, to respect the time of everybody at home, to involve everybody, and not to say, you know, we are now at home, I have to work, so you go into your room. That this will also affect a child in a way where he feels pushed away, where he feels not important enough, not worthy enough, etc. So sit with your family, with the entire family actually, and make plans for the day and say, okay, what are we doing today? How are we going to do our day? What are we going to do today? And I just want to finish with that, you know, independence that we said. Allow them to learn, allow them to not be perfect, allow them to make mistakes, allow them to fall and then get up again. Allow them to make choices. Yeah, what is it that I want today? Even if they say, I'm bored, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I want. Well, think about it. What could you want to do? Yeah. And the more you allow them to ask, to think about solutions, the better it will be. Many times we do things for them because it's faster. We do things for them, we answer for them, we dress them, we decide for them, we make the choices because it's faster, or because we think that we know better, but we don't. And we're not doing them a favor with that. So the last thing that I want to talk about, I spoke about that again, that was the RAS that I spoke about, but I do want to just mention a few words about communication. When you speak to a child, make sure to listen to him. Communication is a two-sided sword. So yes, we speak, but we also listen. So how do we actually listen to our children? What is it? Do I sit down and listen to what he says, or do most parents listen to give advice or to judge? Again, think about yourselves and think about, how do you really, really listen to your children? Or do you really listen to your children? Or do you actually give them advice? So most people, when they listen, they are already thinking of an answer. They're telling their children, as soon as something happens, they're telling their children, well, you should have done this, you must do that. Why didn't you do this? Like, why didn't you tell the teacher? Why didn't you tell me first? Or I told you so many times not to do this. I told you so many times, if you will jump on that sofa, you will fall. So it is oftentimes we tell them, we give them advice, or we tell them what they should have done or should have not done, etc. What happens here when we do that? The child feels unheard. The child feels that his problem is not really solved, but we only see it from our side. So in order to have a good communication, we said before to be mindful, to give them the attention, sit with them, Sit with them and listen to them. Listen to whatever they say. Let them feel important. Let them feel valued. Let them feel that they are someone who is important in your life, because they are your children. Even if you don't understand it, even if it's a long-winded story, whatever it is, just give them that time. And when you listen to them with not only with your ears, not only, I don't know who said it earlier, I think we're working and we're distracted, we're on our phone or our laptops, and we listen to the children, but not really listen to them. No, look at them. Don't do anything when you listen to them. Put your phones away. By the way, how many of you say to their children, no phones, no iPads, etc.? But what are we doing? We have our phone all the time. We sit at the dinner table and the phone is next to us. We go to the kitchen, we take the phone with us. We go wherever we go, the phone is with us. So how will a child learn if we tell them, don't be on your phone all day long? So again, look at yourself before speaking. Yeah? But when you sit with a child, put your phone away, be with him. Look at him, look at eye contact, look at them and listen with your heart. Listen to understand really what are they feeling in that moment. Don't belittle them, don't give them advice, don't judge them, just listen to them. And that's how that communication will grow. And that's how that trust will grow. Because when we build that relationship, that rapport with our children, when they feel that they can trust us, when they feel that that safe house, that safe haven is there, where they can always go back to, then we have a good relationship with them. And then we have that basis of that home where we can do anything, where they can grow from, where they can be strong and grow out of. And then we can also together solve whatever problems are around us. So again, communication, one of the most important things, building rapport, understanding children. Now, I know there's so much more that I want to talk about tonight. I cannot in that 1.5 hours. We do have, maybe in very few words, we do have different styles of communication. We do have different styles of perception. And we need to understand the style of the child. We need to understand that every person communicates differently. We have people who are very outgoing. We have people who are very analytical. We have people who are more focused on what are they doing, on the task. Other people who are much more focused on people. So understand your child, understand his style, understand, is it someone who is really focused on building lists, on building things? Do you have a child who sits and plays with a puzzle or a Lego for an hour, and when a piece falls off, he puts it back on? That's his style. So he's very focused on really, he doesn't like to do mistakes. He likes to finish things, yeah? So be a little bit more careful with that person, with that child. Give him things, one thing after the other to do, because that's his style of processing. On the other hand, when you have children who are very active and they want very fast results and they want to run and have activities all day long, you cannot say, okay, let's start by doing that and then this and then this. No, you have to talk to them a little bit more lively. You have to give them the feeling of active. Otherwise, they don't understand you. Like if you have someone who's very focused on people, who likes to help, who likes support, who likes to cuddle, then sit with them more, give them that time more. Make sure to have your dinners together. Make sure to have 15 minutes before they sleep together, or whatever it is. On the other hand, you know, if you have these active people, they maybe don't need dinner these 15 minutes every day together. Yeah, whatever it is, understand your child, understand what is his personality. And You know, if you write to me, if you send me an email, I can give you more information about that. And also, of course, you can always sign up for the course. I have a very, very special offer that I'm going to give you in just 2 minutes here before we finish. But I can also send you information if you send me an email on these communication styles a little bit. Of course, if you take the course, we will go through your style exactly, through your child's style exactly, to recognize how do we communicate, what is it that we need to pay attention to in order to build that trust, to have that bonding, to have that family trust together. So, it is 9:30 here already. So who has any questions? Do we have any questions? Huda, thank you. Hope to see you soon. By the way, Huda is also a hypno-parenting coach. So whoever wants to, and should we, and let me just give you here the offer of today, because I do have a very special offer for you today. So if you would decide to take the course, it is a 4-week course. So first of all, it is over 4 weeks. The reason why it is over 4 weeks is so that you can practice in between. It has 3+ hours per week. So we go into your family, what do you have, etc. How are your children? What are your challenges? It is for moms and dads. These are group sessions, by the way. So it is always very interesting when others share, when other parents share also. So you get more insights. I have 2 sessions on Saturdays or Wednesdays. So either Saturdays on mornings or Wednesday evenings. You could take it 4 times. Now, the very, very special offer at the moment, usually the course is $445 per couple. And now, this year in 2021, I just reduced it for a limited time. And now you will pay only $275 for the entire course for a couple. So if you are interested, please send me an email now, today, or tomorrow, and you will avail that. If you were on the call tonight, and just if you were on the call tonight, in addition to all of that, you will get 1 personal coaching hour in addition to these group sessions. So I hope that this was a good offer for you. Here are my numbers and my email address if anyone wants to get in touch. Also, if you are a therapist, a coach, a hypnotherapist, and you would like to become a hypnoparenting coach, there's a whole program with the exercises that we do, with a lot of emotional intelligence of how to become aware of yourself, how to manage relationships, how you will get the entire manual from me so that you can also work with your clients with that. So again, any questions now? Any questions? Thank you, Yana. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, Lama. Thank you, Rita. Naila, thank you. Any questions, anyone? Very quiet group tonight. Okay. Okay, many thanks also, students. I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. Thank you, Naila, for your comments. Shash, good to see you here. Okay, so I am still waiting. Anyone who has a question? It seems not. So I hope, no, not I hope, I am sure that, you know, you were able to maybe not take anything new, because none of what I said was probably really new to you. But it is really important sometimes to reflect on things, because we forget. And especially in times like now, we forget to think about ourselves. We forget about that self-awareness. We forget to look at ourselves in the mirror and see how are we actually affecting others? How do others see us? We forget to breathe before we react to our children. We forget to take care of ourselves. So I think sometimes these messages, or what I just said to you, is important, just to remind you of really your capabilities. You were all born with these abilities to be a parent. This is an innate thing that we have. We can bear children, so we can also educate children. It is not always easy, but it is very, very rewarding at the end of the day. Do we make mistakes? We do make mistakes, but let's not focus on the mistakes, but let's focus on what are we doing right and what can we do even better. How can we get our children to believe in themselves? Because if they believe in themselves, if they believe that they can, they will. So I love and leave you for tonight, everybody. Again, please do send me an email if you have any questions. My email address is right here on the slide, or my phone number. You can also send me a text message and I will answer. Thank you, Annie, also. Okay.
Mona,
Yes,
hi.
yes, I can
I
hear
would
something.
like, yes, it's Huda. I would like to say that I do recommend your course. It's amazing. It's a huge awareness. You don't say do this, do that, don't do this, change this. It's pure awareness. So everyone can accommodate what you say to his own personality, to the environment, the style in the house, the kids. So it's not like a recipe, it's awareness. So you can use it wherever is your situation, wherever is your status, wherever is your position, wherever your kids, how many kids you have. And even you can use it in your professional life. You can use a lot of tips at work. So it's not only awareness for kids, it's totally for kids, but at the same time, you can really use what you say and what you recommend and what you do in your daily life with your partner, with your friends, and at work. So it's, for me, it was amazing. It helped me in many area in my life, and especially with my kids. So I do recommend it. And with you, especially with you, because you give always from your heart, you go extra miles. Your course is not 3 hours. It's not 2 hours, not 3 hours. You really give a lot of time, and you tackle every concern for of parents. So I really do recommend it, and I'm sure whoever will do it, they will never regret.
Thank you so much, Huda. That was really, it touched me. Thank you so much. And yes, what you said is so true. And let's just repeat that everything that we spoke about today, we spoke about children mainly today, but of course, all of these tips and all of these tools you can use with your partner, you can use with your parents at home, with grandparents, with family members at work, with whoever you want, because it is about communication, it is about relationships, it is about that building that trust, living together, building that rapport, etc., to be able to communicate in a positive way and affect each other in a positive way. So yes, you can use every single tip that I said now, or that you can take in the course for every situation in your life and even at work. Yeah, thank you, Huda, so much for that. I saw a hand earlier. Anyone who still wants?
Yes, it was Shash. Hi, Mona.
Hi.
Apologies, I wasn't really fully here. I was, in and out, so I couldn't really do much. But I wanted to echo what Huda said. It's really spot on. I mean, there is no how I would see your course on. I'm a therapist, but I would always, gain something from it. And it's really, it can't be commended enough, so keep up the good work. And yes, it's not just for kids, it's for everybody, really. There is always something to take away and adapt and make the most out of it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Shash, so much. And I guess these were also both, in case you are in Dubai, Huda is also a hypnoparenting coach. And in case you're in London, Shash.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, yes.
And Shash is a hypnoparenting coach in London. So,
yes.
You have people all over the world who will help you really and give you a lot of tips.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? We went way over time. As usual. I guess you're right, Huda. There is no 3 hours with me. Okay, so then I want to thank everybody who was on the call tonight. I want to also thank here, looking here at my other laptop, YouTube, everybody who was on YouTube with us, and everybody who is going to watch on YouTube in the future. Please get in touch with any questions you have. I will be very, very happy to answer them. If you would like to attend the course, again, my offer is valid for at least another 2 months. Very, very special offer. It is 50% off for the course. So good night, everybody. I love and leave you. I don't know who MacBook Pro is, but thank you very much for your comment. Helena, okay. Nice to see you also here. Great, great, great. Wonderful. So love and leave you all, and goodbye.